All right, let's jump right into this. We're going to explore some pretty profound ancient wisdom that tackles a very modern problem. How do we make choices that lead to real, lasting happiness? So, the Buddha kicks things off with a question that honestly hits home for pretty much everyone. We all want what's pleasant. We all want to avoid what's unpleasant. So why does the opposite seem to happen so often?
Okay, so to really unpack this, we're going to walk through 5 key ideas. And each one kind of builds on the last, leading us to a really powerful way of thinking about our lives.
Now, the source of this paradox, as the Buddha explains it, isn't just bad luck. Nope. It's a fundamental lack of understanding about how our own actions really work.
You know, he points out that this wish for good things is something we all have. It's completely universal. And yet, our results are often the exact opposite, which really points to a critical misunderstanding in how we make our choices.
So what's the difference maker? Well, according to the Buddha, the crucial difference lies in how we see the world, which he breaks down into 2 basic types of people.
First up, you have what's called the uninstructed person. This is someone who, well, just doesn't know which actions to lean into and which ones to avoid. They haven't really learned to connect the dots between what they do and what they get.
But then, on the flip side, you have the instructed disciple. This person is wise, they're well-trained, they have this clarity to see exactly which choices lead to suffering and which ones lead to real, lasting well-being.
And here's the bottom line. The unwise person, basically out of ignorance, mistakes poison for medicine, right? They chase that quick hit of pleasure that ends up causing long-term pain. The wise person, though, they see things clearly. They know the difference and they act on that knowledge.
Okay, so this whole distinction between the wise and the unwise, it leads us straight to the heart of this teaching, this absolutely brilliant framework that lays out 4 basic ways of living.
This framework outlines 4 fundamental approaches to action, the Dhammasamādānani, and what's really cool is that each one is defined by this unique mix of how it feels now versus what happens later. So this framework, it maps our choices onto this really simple but wow, profound grid. It basically forces us to ask 2 huge questions about anything we do. 1, how does this feel right now? And 2, what's the consequence going to be down the road?
And to make sure this framework really sticks with you, to make it unforgettable, the Buddha doesn't just stick with abstract ideas. No, he uses these 4 incredibly powerful and super vivid metaphors.
So that first way of living, painful now, and just leads to more pain later, it's like being forced to drink from a bitter gourd laced with poison. I mean, it tastes awful going down, and the only result is more suffering. It's just bad all around.
Now this second path, this one is maybe the trickiest of all. It's like a beautiful, sweet drink that's also been mixed with poison. It feels so good in the moment, right? But the final outcome is just as disastrous. This is the classic path of hidden, nasty consequences.
Okay, path number 3 is like taking some really strong but foul-tasting medicine. The process itself might be tough, maybe even a little painful, but it leads directly to healing and long-term well-being. You know, it's that necessary, temporary pain for a lasting reward.
And then we have it, the 4th and most skillful way to live. This one is compared to a nourishing, delicious mixture of things like curds, honey, and ghee. It's wonderful and satisfying right now, in the present, and it leads to even greater health and happiness in the future. The total win-win.
So this 4th path, the one that's pleasant now and pleasant later, how does the Buddha actually describe it? What does it feel like to live that way?
He uses this beautiful image. He compares it to the sun breaking through the clouds after a storm into a clear autumn sky. It's a way of acting that just illuminates your whole life. It gets rid of all the darkness and confusion. Just pure, brilliant clarity.
And this just illustrates the point so perfectly. True wisdom isn't about punishing yourself or toughing it out for no reason. Not at all. It's about developing the skill to live in a way that's both joyful right now and also deeply good for your future.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why does this matter to you and me? Well, this ancient framework is an incredibly practical, timeless tool for looking at our own lives. It helps us cut through all the noise and really analyze our choices with some amazing clarity.
And that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to take with us. As you go about your life, just ask yourself, which of my choices are the medicine and which are the poison in disguise? Seriously, thinking about that might just change everything.